The UN International Court of Justice has begun hearing Nicaragua's lawsuit against Germany. Managua accuses Berlin of facilitating the, quote, commission of genocide in Gaza by supplying weapons to Israel. And while pumping the country with weapons, Berlin also claims to be providing plenty of humanitarian aid to Gazans. Nicaragua has called that a hypocritical position.
It is indeed a pathetic excuse to the Palestinian children, women and men in Gaza to provide humanitarian aid, including through airdrops, on the one hand, and to furnish the weapons and military equipment that are used to kill and annihilate them, and to kill also humanitarian aid workers, as most recently evidenced by the missile attack against vehicles and workers of World Central Kitchen, on the other hand.
Israel denies that its military campaign in Gaza amounts to a breach of the Genocide Convention. Nicaragua has asked the ICJ to hand down provisional measures, including ordering Germany to suspend its military supplies to Israel. Earlier this year, South Africa brought a lawsuit at the same court against Israel, accusing the country of carrying out genocidal acts in Gaza. The ICJ instructed Israel to do everything to prevent such atrocities from taking place. It's been revealed that last year Germany supplied 30% of Israel's total military imports. That's a tenfold increase compared to the previous year. In total, over the past 2 decades, Germany exported over $3.5 billion worth of arms and equipment to the IDF. Nicaragua says those weapons are being used to commit crimes against the people of Gaza.
Germany is failing to honor its own obligation to prevent genocide or to ensure respect of international humanitarian law.
The export of German weapons and military equipment to Israel, likely to be used for committing these grave violations of international law, is continuing.
Germany must immediately make every effort to ensure that weapons already delivered to Israel are not used to commit genocide.
Let's now cross to South African geopolitical analyst Joe Malanga. Many thanks for joining us on the programme. I'd like to ask you for your assessment of the Nicaraguan lawsuit against Germany so far.
I think they're 100% correct. Their stance on saying that this is pathetic, beyond the level of stupidity of giving Palestinians aid. On the other hand, they are supporting the same people who are chopping the heads and the children of Palestinians. It's a contradiction. But again, we need to understand that this is the behavior of the Western countries, of saying something else and then doing something else. So the whole world now, even the smaller countries, they start to stand up against the Western powers of saying you are doing this, but on the other hand, you are doing something else. There's so many things that you can even put it up. If this has happened on the Russian side, I mean, Russia was suspended from sports. These organizations are abusing the Russians simply because of the operation in Ukraine. But when you look at what Israel is doing, Germany is busy trying to suck up to the Americans by contradicting themselves, even in their behavior, on how they're tiptoeing around the issues of just taking one stand. You cannot be supplying food on the other side you're supplying bombs and weapons to deal with the Palestinians. So there's a lot of nonsensical behavior and stupidity of the Germans on how they're behaving. But of course, they want to impress the master, the Americans.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's really bizarre that Germany almost seems to be excusing itself by saying not only are we supplying weapons, but also plenty of humanitarian aid to Gaza. I mean, is that really an excuse?
Look, there's a historical fact here that the Germans were seen as the people that threw the Zionist people into that land that it's occupied now. So what they are trying to do, they are trying to clean up their own mess by creating another mess. So whatever that they are doing is just PR stunts. They just want to say, but we try. But everyone can see what is happening. And because it's done by the Western countries, you will find the likes of US, UK, they're not going to say anything. In fact, they will continue to support that kind of stupidity because that's what all of them are doing at this point in time. So they don't mean it. And nobody is even taking time, Nikki, to check what kind of food are they giving, what aid are they giving. They could be giving the Palestinians food that has long expired. We don't know that. They could be giving them poisons. We don't know that. They could be giving things that they don't necessarily need because now they want to seem as if now they're active, they're doing something that is now, they're trying to clean their image to say now, finally, we're humanitarian. On the other hand, the shipments are coming with arms to kill the very same people. So basically, you treat them like animals that you feed and later on you slaughter and you enjoy. It's exactly what the Germans are doing. So it's completely out of order.
Meanwhile, people within Germany are expressing that they're not happy with the situation. There's been a group of German civil servants that have called on the government to cease military aid to Israel. And a lot of German citizens also don't support these supplies either. But does it look like Berlin is worried about that, about what the German people think?
I think something that we must also take note of, the leaders that are installed by the banking families who are the founding fathers of the state of Israel that has occupied Palestine are the same people that these leaders of these Western countries are trying to impress. Secondly, the population of each of these Western countries are not in favor of what their leaders are doing. People can say Germany is supporting, Germany meaning the elite is supporting Israel. The actual people, the citizens of Germany, America, UK, they understand what is happening in Palestine. They see what is happening in Palestine. So now the government is trying to say, yes, we know the people are protesting, the people are against us, let be seen to be doing something else. But such Western governments are running out of time because their own population are starting to understand the crookery, the devious actions that their leaders are doing to impress their masters. It's completely out of order. It's something that we have never even experienced this time around. I mean, the kids that have been killed in Palestine, it's the total number of kids in the space of 4 or 6 months. These are kids that die all over around the world collectively. But now you still have governments that are still supporting Israel in continuing to do what they're doing in Palestine. On the other hand, now they're bringing food. I mean, come on, what is this?
Many thanks for speaking to us today, Joe. I really appreciate your insight into and your opinion on the matter. South African geopolitical analyst Joe Malanga, thank you.
Thank you.